Hello, friends, and welcome to Leadership Evolution. If you're suffering from anxiety, I want to give you 3 techniques that you can use today that will help you reduce the levels of anxiety in your life. More than 3 in every 10 Americans suffer from anxiety, and anxiety can be a debilitating factor in your life, ranging from loss of sleep to physical ailments. And it can even lead to other things like depression and suicide. Much less serious, but equally important to our topic today, anxiety can severely limit your ability to function at a high level in your life. Now, anxiety is your body telling you that you're not aligned. You're not aligned with reality. You want something to be different than what it really is. You might not be aligned with the future. You're trying to control something that hasn't happened yet. You might not be aligned with something that happened in the past. You haven't reconciled something that already happened. Maybe you're not reconciled with a plan. You know something has to be done, but you just don't know what to do. And that can cause anxiety in your life. Now, I want to be open and upfront with you about something. Coaching anxiety very much depends on the individual and the specific circumstance that that individual is going through. This video, of course, cannot talk to you specifically about your circumstance, but it is meant to give a starting point, if you're open to it, to some things that you can do even right now that can help, and also encouraging you to get the support that you need. Now, when people tell me that they are anxious, I always pay attention to what they say after the complaint. For example, I'm anxious because there's been increased crime in my neighborhood, and I don't understand why. I'm anxious because my numbers are down at work and I really don't know what to do. I'm anxious because my boss called for a meeting with me and I don't know why and I don't know how to prepare. When we aren't clear about the situation and when we don't know what to do about the situation, we become anxious, nervous, worried, apprehensive, and uneasy. Normally, anxiety is a result of us not knowing what to do about a situation. And this is dangerous because when we don't know what to do, here's what we do. We avoid, ignore, push it down, and hope it goes away. But the problem with that is the issue is still running in the background of our consciousness. And your body feels the fear, so you've got an unexplainable uneasiness about the situation. So avoiding it doesn't work. In fact, avoiding it actually makes it worse. Another thing that we try to do whenever we don't know what to do is we try to control the situation. And someone once said the best way to be unhappy in life is to try to control what you can't control or change what you can't change. When we don't know what to do, we also tend to blame, to complain, to whine, to be the victim, to resign ourselves from the situation. And friends, all of those things are dangerous results when we aren't clear about the situation and when we don't know what to do. The anxiety within us is our bodies telling us that we're not aligned with something that's very important. So check in with yourself right now. Are you anxious? Do you have unexplained tension in your body? Are you able to be focused and present with your current task? In your spirit, does lightness and joy escape you? If so, here are some techniques that you can use even right now to greatly reduce, if not eliminate, the stress and anxiety and uneasiness in your life. So if you walked into the room with me and you wanted me to help you with your anxiety, the first thing that I would ask you to do is to change your body, change your physiology. If you're stressed or anxious right now, I want you to notice where your breath is. Just take a moment and notice where your breath is in your body. Is it shallow? Is it high up in your chest and lower throat area? Normally, when we're afraid, that's what happens, is our breathing becomes very shallow and rapid, and it tends to go up into the upper regions of our chest. And the result of that is you're not getting the oxygen that you need. And your body is responding to that lack of oxygen by sending stress signals to your brain. So breathe. And I want you to do a little experiment with me right now. I don't know if you can see this. Let's see if I can change my focus here a little bit. Do a little experiment with me right now and put your hand on your lower belly. And I want you to breathe in deeply. And when you take your breath, I want your hand to move out first. So that when you take your breath, the air starts low in your belly and then fills your middle section, your middle lung section, and then finally you feel it up in your upper chest and throat area. And then when you have that breath taken in, let the breath out and take 4 seconds to reverse the process. And the last thing that should happen is your hand should move inward. Again, take a breath so that your hand moves out and the air fills your body going up. And then take 4 seconds to exhale and let the air go back out so that your body releases the air and your hand goes back in. Do you notice a difference in your body even right now? Do you still feel the level of stress that you felt just a moment ago? So the first thing that you can do to reduce your anxiety levels is to get your body involved. And the first thing you can do with your body is to notice your breathing, notice your breath. Where is it? A lot of times it's up here and shallow when it needs to be down lower and full and deep. The second thing that you can do with your body has to do with movement. So whatever your state is right now, I want you to bring your attention to it. And if you're anxious, that apprehension makes your body respond to it. Most of us are in a fight mode where we're all tense and our jaws set and we move through the day like really tense because we're ready to fight. A lot of us are in freeze mode where because of that fear that we have, that anxiety we have, we just want to get small and be unnoticed and put our head down and kind of slink through the day. Some of us are in flight mode where because of our anxiety, we just want to run away. We don't want to deal with it, so we avoid it and we leave the room, so to speak. However you respond to fear and anxiety in your life, right now check your body's posture. What is it for you? And whatever you notice about yourself, magnify it. So for example, if you're in fight mode and you're tense and you're big and you're ready to fight because you're anxious about something, make that even bigger for a minute. And I'm big and I'm really tense and I really want to fight and I'm likes to fight guy because I'm so anxious about what's going on. And you'll notice that if you'll make it bigger and you'll exaggerate your body's posture, whatever's going on in the moment, you'll notice that the feeling that is driving that will actually go away and become smaller. Check right now. Is the anxiety level that you're feeling smaller because you made your body movement bigger? And if we continue to play with this a little bit, take your body's posture and change it. If you're sitting, stand up. If you're standing, sit down. If you're still, start walking. Change your body's posture. And you'll notice that when you change your physiology, the stress signals that are going to your brain tend to dissipate. And your anxiety will go way down, if not even go away. Changing your breathing and your physical movement will alter your mindset and your emotional state. So if you called me up and told me that you were anxious, the first thing that I would talk to you about is your physiology. The second thing I would talk to you about is your mind. Let me ask you a question. That thing that you're anxious about, what are you focusing on? Now, whatever happened, you told yourself a story. For example, you may read on your newsfeed that global warming is a real issue right now and that it's happening. And in order to make sense of that, you're going to tell yourself a story. And your story might be global warming's happening, the oceans are rising, there's nothing we can do about it, mankind is doomed. Now, I'm just using an example here. I don't know what your story is, but hang with me here for a second. I just want you to notice that something happened, in this case, the news of global warming. And in order to make sense of what happened, you've told yourself a story. Now, here's the deal. Your story may be true, but it's equally likely that it's not true. So here's how you can free your mind from anxiety. You can ask yourself, what is the opposite? What is the opposite story of the one that I'm telling myself? Global warming is happening. The story that I told myself is that it's irreversible and mankind is doomed. So what's the opposite of that? Well, global warming isn't happening. We can do something to reverse it. Mankind isn't doomed. And here's the deal, friends. You're not playing mind tricks on yourself to try to convince yourself of something that may or may not be true. You're trying to open yourself up to the fact that the exact opposite of the story that you told yourself is as likely to be true as the story that you're telling yourself. The story that you're telling yourself that's causing all kinds of stress and anxiety inside of you may not even be valid. So what if the opposite were true? So I would ask you to challenge your mind, challenge the story that you've told yourself. And if that's difficult to do, if like finding the exact opposite of your story and trying to believe something that's opposite is just totally out of the realm of your possibility, try this. Try just adding to your story. I think that this will happen, but something else might happen. All you're trying to do, friends, is open up your mind and your psyche to the possibility that the thing that's causing you stress and anxiety may not even be valid. Are you even open to that? And your ability to hold two opposing thoughts at the same time will determine your ability to cope with stress and apprehension as it arises in your life. So if you walked in my office and you wanted to talk about your anxiety, the first thing that we would do is we would talk about your physiology, your body. The second thing we would do is talk about your mindset and the stories that you're telling yourself. The third thing that we would talk about is the plan. What are you going to do about it? Because a lot of anxiety arises when you're stuck in a mode of, I don't know what to do. I know I should be doing something, but I'm not sure what that is. So we would get very clear about the plan. And here's how we would do it. I would start by asking you, what do you want? Take a look at the situation that you're anxious about and ask yourself, what do I want? What do I want to happen? What do I want to see? What do I want to experience? What do I really want out of this? For example, let's say your boyfriend left you, and that's bringing you all kinds of anxiety because now you're wondering, do I have what it takes? Will anyone ever love me again? Am I too old now to find love? Does he see something in me that everyone else is going to see and no one's ever going to want to be in a relationship with me? You know, all those thoughts that cause us to be afraid and raise our levels of anxiety. So in this example, if your boyfriend left you and you're anxious about your future, one of the things that I would do after checking with your body and your mind is I would ask you, what do you want? And maybe after a few iterations of that, we get down to, look, I just want to love and be loved. I want to respect and I want to be respected. And maybe that's what you want. And I would say, great, it's a great starting point. You know what you want. Now let's confront that. And in spite of your anxiety, let's take some action, some small step that will make progress toward what you want. And so maybe you would decide, well, the small step or action that I want to take this week is I'm going to love myself. I'm going to respect myself. And maybe that looks like I'm going to love myself by not judging my looks or my personality. And I'm going to respect myself by maybe eating right. So after you've determined what you want to take a small, easy, pleasurable step, some action that will provide progress toward what you want. This is called exposure therapy, where gradually facing your fear can dramatically help you to eliminate it. This is also a very empowering posture in life and will help you to overcome your mental block. A lot of anxiety is caused by not knowing what to do, about not being clear about a direction to take in your life. By determining what you want, you can choose a direction and you can start moving. Even if the movement turns out to be wrong, you'll adjust, you'll figure it out. You've done that in the past, and I know that you're capable of doing it in the future. So friends, most anxiety can be dealt with by changing your body, changing your mindset, and then leaning into what you want and taking action. Now, if you're bound with anxiety, I hope that you'll find someone, a coach, a therapist, someone like that, who can walk alongside of you and support you as you deal with your anxiety. If you do choose someone to walk with you through this, be sure that you choose somebody who can have an objective, honest, truthful perspective on your life. Don't choose someone who's going to enable you, your stories, your victimhood, your mindset. The last thing you need is for someone to enable you to be even more anxious than you already are. Instead, choose someone who will help you get to the truth and also support you to take responsibilities so that you can take action to get through it. If you're having anxiety, I hope this video has been helpful to you. And if it has been helpful to you, I hope that you'll hit that like button below. Also, if you'd like to keep up with content from Leadership Evolution, I hope that you'll subscribe to the channel. As always, thanks for watching, keep evolving, and I'll see you in the next video.